cannot find my ever jacket. But this is just kind of my, my regal look. What you think? But I say, when it comes to watching Doctor Who, nowadays we are able to watch the show on multiple streaming services. Like, whether you want to go, whether it's the revival, we can, go back and just click on Max. Or, if you want to watch the upcoming 15th Doctor, well, we can go and consult our good friend, Disney+. But, let's turn back to time when Doctor Who aired here in the States on PBS. But before we get into it, you know who we are. I bet you do. We are... For you! So let's talk about when Doctor Who appeared on PBS here in the US. Lunch break time, or dinner time. If you've never heard of PBS, well, it stands for Public Broadcasting Station, in which shows have programs that are both informative, educational, and sometimes entertaining for all ages.
I was reading Byron in Baudelaire. Oh, please, sweet brother. Can't you see what it is that will make me truly happy?
Well, yeah, but he's like downstairs. What do you want me to tell him?
And it's funded by the government, so in a way, we help it keep its airwaves, or TV waves, going for all. Along with even viewers to donate to keep a show on it still going. So there's not much interest from audience. The broadcaster might or might not keep it up. This is one reason why the 1963 version of Doctor Who, if you need a reminder, the 1963 version is when the show starred with actor William Hartnell for the first Doctor.
Believe me, my dear, your future lies with David, and not with a silly old buffer like me. One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
On PBS in the 1970s, as well as it would air through the States in the 1980s, but it would slowly start to shed off in the cat just walked away in the 1980s and the 1990s. I'm going to sit over here. One reason is that the Doctor Who started to... One reason I think this could be it, and the fact that, PBS started to, slowly move away from the Doctor, could be, is that the Doctor Who started to get released on VHS, with the first being Revenge of the Cybermen, with the fourth Doctor on October 3rd, 1983.
This looks like the end, Sarah.
One thing about you, Harry, you never miss the obvious.
Why don't they just finish us off?
And The Brain of Morbius on July 9, July 1984. And then subsequent VHS releases of some of these storylines of episodes would soon follow. Well, it seems like, based on PBS, it kind of helped those of us not over here in the UK, us bloody Yankees, be able to watch the show. There had been some issues in that the BBC of Wales of the show was not shown on PBS, and PBS was denied first run rights by BBC Worldwide for other networks like Sci-Fi and BBC America.
They say one's cows are mad, a monstrous slur. They say one's dentistry is diabolical. Looks fine to me. But there's one thing they say which is absolutely bang on. One's television is brilliant.
If one wants the best of British television, one gets BBC America.
By the time PBS was able to show worldwide, had already done it in a way because of the use of home release, whether on tape or DVD. Because sadly, getting to watch the show on physical compared to helping fund to keep it on air seemed to be more financially smart for the viewer. I think this is getting too tight. It's getting too tight. I'm trapped in the suit. I'm trapped in the suit. Help! I'm trapped. The buttons are suffocating me. Get off, button. Get off. That's better. But it's not all bad in that Chicago still airs the classic show WTTW Channel 11 in Chicago, which makes me think, although the TV station Comet has classic shows, why didn't air on, Comet as well? Since, Comet has quite a lot of TV shows and classic films that they would appear, things from the 60s and the 70s, or even shows say the Friday the 13th show or Nightmare on Elm Street show. But then again, I'm starting to think maybe it was more based on the licensing and all that. Because I'm starting to think maybe the price license for shows like Doctor Who are more expensive compared to something like, say, the Friday the 13th show. During the time, the audience that had been consuming the Doctor, back in during this time frame, were students, since some PBS stations were close to universities. So it seems like the students would become interested in the show until others, whether it was their friends, their roommates, or heck, even their college professors. You never know, because, sometimes, when you're a theater person, that can always be the case, say, hey, professor, I just discovered this great show. Some PBS stations have begun broadcasting episodes involving John Pertwee's Doctor.
I've seen the gods, everything in perfect. Oh! Bless my soul. You were saying, Colonel?
And a Chicago station being one of them. Not in particular order, though. Because that is not always going to be a thing when you have a broadcasting. You're not always going to have, say, now we're going to continue into the next episode. There would be one thing that actually would be quite interesting that also appear on the home release of some of these episodes. There would be narration done by Howard Da Silva to explain the narrative that was going on, since some episodes, like just said, would be out of order. For, the audience, say, hey, you might not know, say, hey, what previously happened in, All My Children, or something like that, and then say, and now we return to this, because some shows might not just have the same episodes, like a reruns or something like that. One of the biggest episodes that did aired was the 20th Doctor Who. The 20th Doctor Who anniversary on November 3rd, 1983. The 5 Doctors.
What's happened to the little fellow?
The little fellow is perfectly all right, thank you very much. Of course I'm here. You don't imagine anything you two can do would stump me, do you?
Several days before the BBC. That is kind of big, in that a government broadcasting station was able to do it before, the owners almost were able to do it. So, yeah. I have a bit of a soft spot when it comes to the PBS, mostly because I had done internships with it, so also it's kind of my first working experience. Now, I like the the PBS, it's got a special place in my heart. But, I kind of wish I had grown up during that time frame when it actually had shown on air, because that would have been awesome to see this on air. How did you actually see the classic Doctor Who? Did you see it on television, like on PBS, or did you see it Viva tapes or DVDs? How did you experience watching the classic Doctor Who? Or just, you know... Wait, what's going on? I hear that, I hear it coming! Time for me to get my snack, or... Maybe something.